Welcome to the DMF. I'm Justin Younts. This is part three.
Real heart of things. So you're doing this. So like, was this something that you mulled over for a while to make it into a documentary, or did you just
I mean, it was a very sudden decision, a very reckless one.
right?
So,
Okay.
yeah, like, no, but that's how I was feeling. And then,
Yeah.
so before even the accusations were made against him, so this we're talking about, I start feeling this, um,
March
like, maybe
March of
like, yeah,
20.
May, June of 2020. So we're talking
Oh, okay,
about
okay. We're going
the
into
year before. So then I was keep thinking maybe
real
I
heart of
want,
COVID.
and I always want to live in New York, but I
Yeah,
found a cheaper way to come to Los Angeles, and the
yeah,
visa process complicated. So you have to think about a lot of stuff before moving to another place,
yeah,
obviously. So I was like, but I'm so frustrated. And I was dealing then at that point, a year later, we were dealing with the reopening of the theater. And it was so frustrating dealing with people. And also, I was at that point, I was actually studying business
yeah,
because I was like full time studying business. And then I was also at that point, it was full time actually working at the theater, kind
yeah.
of like as a practical training. So that's how it kind of it's called. Um,
Now, when you say you're frustrated with the people, like what were you frustrated with, like specifically? Like
just the way they do business. So the
okay, so
people that
not
were
not patrons, like
no,
just
not the pictures, no, the pictures. I
okay.
mean, I don't think like the pictures are. There are some people that are so obsessed of movies that they go to movies. That's all they do in their life, and they go to movie theaters 5 days a week. So I would
Yeah,
not
I've
say that
seen.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
impressed. But
yeah,
no, the printer were fine. It's just like then when we were doing the reopening of the theater, and now the people in the management they were dealing with things,
yeah.
and they were not caring about the patron, the safety. They just cared about what they cared for, which is always programming. And so that's where it was. Like to me, if you have to run the business, you have to run the business, and you have to
Yeah.
care for what your audience cares for.
Yeah,
You have to care for their
absolutely.
safety. You cannot just be like, oh, but we are making movies. We have like famous people, so we can do whatever we want. And that's what was frustrating me of the movie industry. That's like, oh, because you're so cool, then
Yeah,
everything has to go around you, and you don't care about the safety. And like,
yeah,
I was also studying business at that point, so to me, like all the behind the scenes stuff was important. How you do properly, like how you do your taxes, how do you properly do
yeah. I mean,
business.
people got mad at, Tom Cruise. He had that video that came out,
Yeah,
he's yelling at the crew, but
well,
like what he's saying is true. It's like,
yeah,
look, you guys screw up, we're all screwed, like this is so important that, we have to follow these protocols. I can't have you coming around and being like, "Oh, I don't need a mask. Who cares about a COVID test?" It's like, like we're trying to be the first movie to open, and it's just like that. And it's, yeah, I see what you're
yeah,
saying. That lackadaisical idea of just like, well, this doesn't matter. It's like, no,
yeah.
it
And it's
does
like
matter.
it's this type of people that are like, I'm not talking the super high
Yeah,
people, like, and they're like, if we have like someone famous or whatever, it's they're urgent to someone else, okay, we have to bend all the rules just to
yeah,
please this person. But those people, the super famous one, usually they're fine. If you tell them there is a rule, or you cannot smoke here,
yeah,
you cannot block the aisle, they're fine. But
right.
because those people want to please them, then they are willing to make like endanger like the
Okay.
safety of like the
Yeah.
audience,
Yeah, they're
blocking
like,
aisles.
I want to walk this way. I'm sorry, sir. There's a wall there. Just bang down, break the wall down, everything. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
we'll fix it later.
Yeah, like I'm obsessed with like emergency island. Like, in this
Yeah,
country,
that's
we
good.
did like training for the run hide fight for like active shooters. You cannot
Oh,
block an
wow.
aisle just because you want to sell more tickets. And it
Yeah.
was so frustrating to me, that kind of mindset. And I was the one defending safety and like all the
Wow.
rules when no one else cared. And so, I mean, before my time, they didn't even do safety testing for the sprinklers. Because
Right.
because the people that work there, they were all like creatives, which is not creative people that make movies, it's just people that watch movies.
Yeah.
And so they would not even think about, oh, we had these sprinklers for 20 years, we never did some testing to them, and maybe we should test them.
That's a fire. It's like the sprinklers aren't coming on. Oh no, we're all gonna die.
Yeah, so I was that person, and then like they were annoyed by me at that point because I was always like, well, actually the
They're like,
rule, the
there's
law says
Sarah.
this.
There's Sarah. Sarah's gonna like us, put in there,
Yeah, so they would bypass me because I would always bring up these things, and so they were trying to avoid me. But so then I was frustrated, and we were opening the theater, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna do this," but and they were like, "Okay, we know how this system works. Deal with us instead of like giving the job to someone that never dealt with anything."
Yeah.
And so we were working like 12 hours a week, like a day every week, for like a month and a half or something like that, weekends included, just to reopen, because there were so many things that needed to happen for the theater to be reopened. Like you had to do like the partitions, the mask, having supplies, creating a new system so that like you would not sell seats next to each other because you have to block them off. So we had to get a new POS system. So there was a lot to do, and I was just frustrated, and I got so mad. I was like, okay, what's going to make me feel better right now? So this was in
Yeah.
June of 2021. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to just go to Albany. So I just got my credit card and I bought a ticket to Albany, New York. That's where the governor is. And I'm going to I'm going to just go there and see if I like it. I have no plan. I just want to see if I like Albany, if I like the idea of government, whatever it is, and then I'll decide if I want to move there. So then I got the ticket, and then I was there. I like I left Albany the day that the report of the Attorney General against Cuomo was released.
And that
So
was that was in
2021. That was August of
that's August.
2021.
Yeah, August.
So that's exactly when I was leaving Albany. That was happening. It was getting released. And at this point, I was already like thinking, I want to live in New York. I want to work with government. And then this happened. And then Cuomo resigned. And then I was like, this is wrong. This is how it was dealt, the situation, how it was done. The politicians, like as soon as there was the accusation, I got scolded one time, like talking about not being able to defend yourself. This was like in March of 2021. We were doing a Zoom meeting, like a meeting via Zoom. I was at the theater still, and I have I get like the notification on my computer every time something happens, when you subscribe to the newspaper, you get a pop-up notification on the computer. And so there was like this, we were in this meeting, and this pop-up notification says Chuck Schumer is asking Cuomo to resign. My reaction was this. I did like all this space, and then a couple of days later, like it was because of that, not because the meeting was a technical thing, it was nothing, but I was in a meeting on Zoom. 2 days later, I get a call from the HR scolding me for making faces during the meeting. And I'm like,
That's funny.
and I'm like,
who see that's my problem with like a lot of I don't know if I would call that PC culture, but it's just that this thing, it's like, it doesn't really affect anything, whether you're making faces. It's just like, we're just complaining for the sake of complaining. It's like, so what? Did that kill the meeting? Is the meeting completely like you would think with like a comment like that you stood up and, were in the background throwing your computer across the room, and it'd be like, it's like, no, you just made a couple of faces. So it's that kind of idea, that common sense that we've kind of lost, where it's like, somebody says something and we're just completely like, no, that, like everyone has to be like, I'm really nervous about like, now with AI, we're able to like anything that you have ever
you can make up anything.
But anything that you've ever said, even if you delete it, can now be brought up. So it's like a permanent record of your life is on Twitter or whatever. And it's just like, if you deleted it and it's no longer there, we shouldn't be able to like, bring it back. Like what is the statute of limitations on how far back we can go? You said in 2015 that you didn't like so-and-so. I'm sorry, but that cancels you. We can't have you anymore. It's like where are the statute of limitations on that? That's something that I thought you did kind of touch on, is that idea of the the common sense, and just bringing it up. It's just like, why is that? Like,
and also like if there is a problem, that's fine. But let's talk. If you had an issue with me, doing my face,
I just went to AR and be like, okay, so-and-so's doing this, and then you get the comment, and it's like, we've heard some complaints. Some people started
Yeah.
making faces, and it's like, well, who made the complaint? Oh, that's not relevant. We can't talk.
Yeah, you cannot say that. That's what I
We
said.
can't talk
Like,
about. We
like
can't
they
talk about
didn't
who did it.
like they didn't say it was in that meeting, but that was the only meeting I've been. And so I was like, "Are you sure it's not because of something else?" And then they couldn't talk. And the HR is on my side because like we're pretty close because I'm the only
Yeah.
one who cares about safety and about rules.
Of course.
So we
Yeah.
were close, but she had that role. So because someone complained, now she had to tell me.
And
And
you
but
know
that
why they complained? Because you've been,
because it
hard
was
on
Chuck
them about
Schumer. It
hard
was
on
because
them
of Chuck
about
Schumer.
the ordinance and stuff, and they see you as a pain and like, oh, this is our way to get back at her.
Yeah, and no, and that's what it was about. Like a few days before that, me and the other two manager, we met together to complain about how we were being treated by some of the people in the company. And then suddenly one of them got pulled out of the job. Like they put him in a different department, and I got scolded for rolling my eyes. So it's like, okay, are we sure that like you're really offended by me? Like also,
Yeah.
these are all men that are in the meeting we're talking about. So now you want to tell me that you got so offended by me rolling my eyes in a meeting where like we're obviously on a computer. You don't know what else I'm doing here. Could be
Sir,
for
I've got to be
anything.
honest with you. When I saw you roll the eyes, I decided that I can't work here anymore. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's like and everything can be solved. Like even if really there was an issue, but again, it's not about the issue. It's about power. It's
Yeah.
about using this. I'm
Yeah.
offended, so I can use it against you when it benefits me.
Yeah,
That's what
that's the
frustrates
danger
me.
of the I'm offended thing. It's like, okay, you can be offended, but we're not going to just change the whole world because you're offended, and that seems to be the world we're living in. I'm offended, so therefore this cannot exist. Instead of like, why don't you just not watch that show or something? Just turn the
Yeah,
channel. Why if you're offended, like we've used offended so much that now it's lost the value of the word, where now nobody takes it seriously, whereas it
mm,
used to be like, okay, we can take that seriously. Now it's just like any other word, like I'm mad. Oh, okay, well, we'll put it under the mad clause,
yeah,
like. But offended, we've like, that's the danger of this, is offended. The same thing you kind of touch on with the Me Too movement is, it's just like, if everybody's complaining and it's just about anything, when it's about something that really is the matter, how do we give the different degrees? Which is a serious complaint, and which is this? Like, what do we take every single thing seriously? Like, there's no ordinance of where it goes. Anybody can say anything. Like, what are the statute of limitations of this? You look
yeah,
at what's his name, Army Hammer, who got like canceled because he's kind of a vampire or whatever. But it's like, but how do we not know that they liked it? Like, if anybody can, like, at that moment, now that they were fine with it, but now 3 years later, it's like, well, now
yeah.
I'm
They're
no
like,
longer
oh,
fine.
actually, I was offended.
Actually,
Yeah,
now I'm offended. Okay, get him out of here. Remove him from the world. Put
yeah,
him in a box.
and that's what at the end of the day like my documentary is all about. It's about due process because it's
Yeah.
not just about a politician not getting the process, but it happens like you see every day in everybody's life, like
Yeah.
how my situation about Chuck Schumer, like I didn't get any due process there, or like it was a stupid situation.
Did they know you were upset about the Chuck Schumer thing? Like, could they
Like
see
I
that
was
part of
trying
it?
to explain, it's like, are you sure that this is happening? Because during the meeting, I was looking at the other stuff, and they were
Yeah.
like, no, 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 it was not that. And it was like, no, they're sure that you were rolling their eyes on them. It's
So
like,
they think they were rolling your eyes at them, so they're just using it as a thing. Yeah, I mean, that's the frustration. It's like, there's no everything's can be weaponized now in this
yeah.
in this world we live in. So that's what so talk a little bit about, like, what did you find? Did you find anything difficult about approaching this subject? Was there something that you learned that you weren't expecting, that you were shocked?
I mean, the filming was a little difficult in general for other reasons because so
Okay, yeah,
that that what happened. So then he resigned like a week after I left Albany, pretty much. So I was like, I need to do something. This guy didn't get due process. This is wrong. How the media dealt with it. There are so many questions about the Attorney General report. It makes no sense. The politicians were asking for him to resign even way
yeah,
before the report came out. Anyway, so I have to do something, and no one was doing anything. Everybody was just so overwhelmed, and it pissed me off. This pisses me off about people who are like, they're like, we love you, and then as soon as something happened, they forget about you, and I hate that about society. That's where I'm a contrarian, because like if I like something, I'm gonna really like it, and I'm gonna put my effort in that. And I don't like how flaky people are in society, where they're very generous in a ways in that sense about their judgment. I love you that. Okay, if you love something, put your effort on it. So I
Yeah.
just hate about like people
Well, it's that question of like, do
talk.
they actually love it, or do they just love it in that moment, and then as soon as somebody does something
Yeah, and
bad,
love that how they make them feel be part of the community, or they just say they don't
yeah,
care about him, but they just say it because they want to be liked by other people.
yeah,
Like now it's convenient to hate Donald Trump. If you want people to like you, just tell them that you hate Donald Trump, and you're gonna have friends right away. It's so simple in
becoming a
society.
thing.
It's
Yeah,
like you don't even need to know anything about him. Doesn't need to be genuine, but just because you say something, people are gonna be like, "Yeah, good girl, you're amazing." So
there's no substance behind it. It's just like
yeah,
I just don't like it. So therefore,
yeah. So I hate that of
yeah,
people, and so I was so mad when like no one was standing up for him after they loved it so much. It's like I have to do something here. So then I would just frustrated from the theater I was working. That was a different theater, but same company at that point.
yeah,
But I was like. I just started like following stuff online on Facebook, and then suddenly Facebook started suggesting me these Cuomo supporting groups. And they had like maybe 50, 100 people following, but I was like, if I can find anyone, any community support of me, like that I'm still thinking about Cuomo, let me just see what they do. And then they were actually meeting every week. And they had one meeting where they invited someone who was coming to defend Cuomo or anything. So I
yeah,
just joined. And so I just found this group of people, and I don't like social media. I like social media, but I like to keep it separate.
yeah,
I'm not the type of person that makes friends on social media, that kind of stuff. Like, I like having my friends and keep connected on social media, see what people are doing, see
yeah,
what people are thinking. But I'm not one of those people that are obsessed with social media that they have to spend every second of their life just
yeah,
posting. I don't write what I think on social media. I just
yeah.
like seeing what people are saying.
Well,
So
there's the two. Sure, there's people who post all the time. Then there's people that like just kind of doom scroll, and they're just
yeah,
like living their life, just scrolling. Because it's almost like the way like Instagram and so many of these things are designed. It's almost
yeah.
like it's almost like gambling. It's like, well, what's the next one gonna be? Oh, but the next one, and then the next one, and it's a never ending. It never reaches like on the Instagram wall page, it never reaches like an end where it stops scrolling. It
Yeah,
just
that's made on purpose. It's like,
continues to scroll, and it's to me that's a danger. Like usually you have an ending to something. There is no end. Like
yeah,
you could
that's
spend your
that's
whole
made
life just
24/7.
scrolling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
So,
it just
but
keeps
yeah,
creating thing. Yeah.
yeah. But that's where I was like, okay, I
Mm.
found this group, and on I went to a meeting, and then on the second meeting, I came up with the idea. I was like, well, I don't know what I can do. Everybody wanted to help there. I didn't really know them. Like, I didn't really say it. It's not that we talk or anything, but I was
Yeah.
there. I was hearing these people. They all wanted to help Cuomo
Yeah.
somehow, like helping with his reputation, cleaning up everything, bringing the truth out. And so I was just thinking in my head, like, what can I do? And then I was like, well, I know how to make movies. I've done that throughout my
Yeah.
life. I have the equipment. Maybe I can just, and at the beginning I was thinking something small. Maybe I can just go to New York, interview people, or whoever wanted to talk about it, and maybe we
I,
can
I
just do
wanted to
something.
ask, how did you decide on the people to interview? Were you just picking
Well,
random
that's
people?
part of the story that
Oh,
I'm
okay,
saying.
okay, okay,
So I
okay.
was with this group of people online that I didn't know, but on their second meeting, I was like, okay, what I can do is to make interview people and that. So then I just, since these people were also trying to help, I emailed them and I said, I came up with this idea. I want to do the videos. I'm gonna do everything by myself. I have equipment. I'm paying for my travel, but I would like to, if you can help me to find people to interview, I'll travel to New York and to interview people. So Originally it was going to be like something small again, so just maybe people that knew more about this topic and something like this.
But
They
you
loved
filmed
the
part of
idea.
it in like Union Square, I noticed. Like
There were like 3 peoples there, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, those were random people that we found on the street. So that
So
was my
that was
idea.
those were random. Okay.
Yeah, random people. Yeah. So then my idea was I'm gonna travel around New York State on my own expenses, on my own everything, and I'm just meeting people there to interview. Then these people decided to travel with me. So then we decided to make like, okay, we can travel together. They pay for their own stuff. I pay for my own stuff. And if they know people that want to talk about these topics, and then so it was supposed to be half and half, like
Yeah.
finding people on the street, strangers, and then also having some people who might know something more who have been following this topic to talk about it. So, but it was very loose. And then the more I was writing down about these topics, there were like so many topics that felt like we needed to discuss because it was not just about Cuomo. It was about the Me Too movement, how there are always this movement that then it's not just the Me Too, but they just like end up being these political tools, and then
Yeah.
you cannot even question them. So you cannot even like question a woman because now suddenly you're going to be canceled. Your life is going to be ruined just because you question the accusation that
Question
some
the
woman said.
accusation. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've seen that stuff also with the BLM protests. But every
Yeah.
time there is a new movement, like you cannot question anything. And
Yeah.
like we were saying before, like I don't care if you agree with me. I don't have to agree with you on everything. It's about having the conversation. It's about
Exactly.
being able to ask questions. But if
Do you,
you're saying it's wrong for me to ask the question, that something is wrong.
do you think that's just the way things are going, or do you think it's it's by design? Do you think that this is happening by design, or do you think that it's just like
I mean,
this is
I
just the
think
future? This is the way the process goes.
I think, I mean, it's, I don't think that every country is this way for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it's a very specific thing about this country. And it's a positive thing in a way that people are very engaged in these political topics and this conversation.
No, no,
Then
I
maybe
mean
not
like the stifling of conversation, the idea of like we want this conversation out here, but you can't question certain aspects of it.
Yeah, no, but that's what it is. I think like it's good that there is a conversation, but then the problem is that there are some people that they just want the conversation to go one way. And so
Yeah.
they're stifling the conversation with other people that don't agree with them. And then yes, then there is the question, all those movements, all those groups are being founded by some other groups. So like even now, like it was interesting here in LA, there were like all these ICE protests, how they started
Yeah.
here in LA. And I see all the people I know, they're like donating to Churla, this organization. And then I saw Chris Cuomo actually doing a video where he was talking about actually who funds Churla. So it's the immigration,
Yeah.
how do you say, like fund or something, but
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah. I know what
specific
you mean.
organization. And he was saying that it's actually Chinese companies that are actually funding that. So then like, okay, when like you see all these movements, all these,
Yeah.
there is always the question, is someone actually pushing a certain narrative? It's
Yeah. Well,
someone
you
funding
see what happened with like TikTok. They were pushing that this is
it?
Chinese, spyware and everything. But now we're going to give it to this group. Larry Ellison and his group are going to do that. And they're like, we're going to make it efficient. And it's like every time we've seen somebody like that, because one of the things that was great about TikTok that a lot of people love was the fact that the algorithm was so spread wide, like it reached certain people. Whereas you see, YouTube, Instagram, there's a limit to how far it goes at first. Whereas with
But even
TikTok,
TikTok, but even there, like they're saying
yeah,
the type of content that the platform pushes
yeah,
prefer certain. Like even now, I'm experiencing that. Even that, like we try to promote my series, which is a different topic. But even there, like you never know if the reason why people are not seeing your content is because the platform is blocking that.
yeah,
Because I'm seeing like on certain posts, like even like normally like some posts, my followers they see it right away, but on another post, it just shows that it's not
yeah.
even shown to my own followers. So that's the question is, it's the platform blocking certain contents and pushing some other content because it's convenient for someone else.
And I think
So
that's the fear of what's happening with TikTok is TikTok's becoming just like all the other ones where it's just going to be like, yeah, you're not even getting, all your followers aren't even going to get it. And it's just like, why? Why are these followers,
yeah,
why are these? And you you can't tell me that it's not priority over certain people of who gets out there, you know. Because I mean, celebrities now charge what, 5 million a post to just put out there, you know. So it's like, once again, it's what started off as a great thing is now becoming just another cash machine that we can just, you know,
Yeah.
rate in the cash and charge people with, as opposed to it being about contact with people and reaching as many people as we possibly can. I feel like that we're losing that. Sorry.
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing. Like they're saying, like in China, TikTok, they push a certain type of content, like about like promoting strength. While in America, they push more content like kids, like cats, and people dancing. I'm just that's what I love. That when I'm on, I take public transportation in Los Angeles because I cannot afford a car, obviously, because I'm making a series. But so then when I'm on the bus, I like looking at what other people like what algorithm they have on their phone because they're always scrolling. So I like seeing what kind of videos they receive, and it's so different from algorithm, obviously, because depending on the stuff that you search, but it's always like, why do Americans love these videos about everybody dancing? Why they're
Yeah.
so obsessed with dancing videos? It's like,
I know it's weird, yeah, or like cats, you know, doing the thing, or you know, just dog videos, you know. So I
yeah.
watched one woman where she just feeding her dogs, and it's just like, why am I watching this?
Yeah, but
What
that's
do
it
you
makes you
think?
question, is there someone pushing so that Americans become dumber and the other countries become smarter? If that is the content that you're always, because, and that's the problem, like going back to the educational system that we were talking before,
Yeah,
democracy is not going to work unless the educational system is
yeah,
strong,
yeah.
because people need to know what they're voting for. And like again,
Well,
now
yeah.
a lot of
Well,
people don't know how the system works. So if they don't really know how the capitalism works, of course they're going to be maybe hating that.
well, that's the other thing. I'm like, you see a lot of people, they don't read anymore. They don't
Yeah.
read books. They're not informed on it. One of the questions I'm going to ask is about like when you're talking to like the some of the people that you're talking to. One of the questions I would have liked to have asked them is like, what policies, specific policies, did you like about Cuomo? And I can
Mm.
almost guarantee that like probably two would be able to tell you. And you know, I'm not looking for like, you know, what the actual act was or I'm saying like, you know, maybe $15 because he raised the minimum
Minimum
wage to
wage,
$15, the marriage
marriage equality.
equality, like just some of these things. I feel like we have this fear now with politicians where it's not about policy anymore now. It's
It's
about whether
not.
I like the person or not. And I think that's a dangerous place. We need to be about policy because at the end of the day, then they're just celebrities.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.